Welcome to the Freewoman podcast, a space for all women who are ready to break free of the inauthentic life. Remember to like and subscribe for more Free Woman in your feed.
Inhale, exhale. You've arrived. Now let's laugh.
Hello, Free
Hello,
Women.
hello, hello.
It's been a week.
How has your week been? Because it feels like it's been a month already since we've
I
been
was
on
gonna
here.
say,
There's so much that happened.
we're here, you're here, we made it through another week. We're still here.
We survived.
We survived.
I know, even right before we decided to record, I was like staring into nothingness, and then I was like, wait, we're starting.
Where am I? What's happening?
What's going on?
What planet am I on?
What month is it? What year is it?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot going through traumatic things, and then it's a lot going through menopause. And when they kind of happen together, it's a really interesting cocktail.
It is. My brain can't keep up with it some days. So I just need to go take a nap.
But you're here, so you got through whatever you got through, and now you're here. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for making it with us.
Yeah, so we had like doctor's appointments this last week.
Yeah.
Just fun as you age, it becomes a little less of a um enjoyable experience.
Yeah, in and out, you're going to be okay.
They're like, yeah, looks like everything's good. Now it's a little more like, okay, what's the damage?
What do I need to do?
How can we manage it?
How can I feel normal again? Oh, I can't.
No, it's
Okay.
never. This is your new normal. Congratulations.
You need to learn to adapt to your new normal.
Or they're like, we don't really understand women's bodies, so your guess is as good as ours.
I know. Well, yeah, women's bodies, hormones, everything is such a mystery, and
Yeah, because they haven't studied them.
they haven't studied.
We're a mystery.
We are a mystery.
No one can understand us because they haven't tried.
God, I mean, I've been in this body for 42 years, and I'm still trying to understand.
Yeah.
Just when I get figured out, something else changes and something new happens, and I'm like, God damn.
I know. I keep hearing the voice of older women telling me, just wait and you'll see, and how I just rolled my eyes at them all growing up, and now I'm just like, damn it.
I know. They were
Damn
right.
it.
God damn it.
Why?
They were right. They were right.
But it's like the worst way to find out that they're right,
Yeah. So we both are experiencing perimenopause.
Woohoo!
Yay! And it's because of all the stress that we have been through, because our world is just a wonderful and peaceful place.
Yeah, I was luckily in the less than 1% of women that start perimenopause in their 30s.
Yeah, they didn't even believe you at first.
No, they didn't. They had to run lots of tests, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, no, that is what that is."
You're going through menopause.
But fingers crossed that we can come out of it. I
Yeah.
don't know, but at this point, I'm not even sure I want to come out of it, because I'm like, maybe it's just better to be done.
Let's just, we're already doing it. Let's just do it.
It's like that middle ground that I'm like, if I could just be on one side or the other, that would be great.
Let's just get this done and over with. I know, I'm like, I don't care. Take my youth. Take it all. I'm just done.
It's
Whatever.
fine. Let the skin lose its elasticity. We'll just be the crones that we are.
I know. I've had to fight and surrender to so much. It's like, whatever. Let's just surrender to this too. Just take it.
Yeah, it's kind of like being pregnant, but without a reward.
Yeah. Wisdom. We get some wisdom.
Wisdom? Respect? No?
No,
Yes,
I
maybe?
don't know. That's the thing that has surprised me the most is that it feels like being pregnant, going through perimenopause. And I'm like, what is going on with my body? And
it's like every day is a fun new adventure. You just get to discover something new. And then you look it up and you're like, oh, that's a perimenopause thing.
Well, it helps too that we're both seeing a doctor, a female doctor, which I love her. And she takes it serious and she actually acknowledges what you have to say and doesn't look at you like you're crazy.
It's nice when they've actually been through it themselves and they're like, yeah, no, it sucks. Like, you're not crazy, versus some of the male doctors are like, I mean, I don't know.
You might just be crazy.
My wife was kind of crazy.
I know. So she like looked at me just very straightforward last week and was telling me, perimenopause, menopause, it's this time in a woman's life that is not fun. It can last about 10 years. And she's like, it's not going to be easy. And I was like, God damn.
Personally, I have found it less pleasant than pregnancy. I know it's not the same for all women.
Well,
I have,
pregnancy's just different in the way that, your body's like stretching out and hurting in that way.
But it kind of follows a pattern, and the second trimester is okay. Like, you get some energy, and not for everyone, but most people. And so it's just kind of like the tail ends that you're really miserable in, and then you get your baby. But this, it's like, every day is a surprise, and it's gonna last 10 years.
I know.
Good luck.
Well, I've just felt
and you get to like get poofy and fat and no baby.
I know. You gained 10 pounds in like a month. Oh my gosh.
It's all in your belly. It's called Menno belly.
I have a little bit of a cough. So last weekend we went to like a hot spring and I had to put a swimming suit on.
Oh God.
And it was a 2-piece because that's what I've always worn. And I was like, my breasts have gotten so much bigger, like when I'm pregnant. I was like, let's just flaunt those. I put my swimsuit on that I used to wear last year. And I was like, oh no, this is a big mistake. Like, look at these puppies.
You're like, this might not be appropriate for public.
So I still wore it.
Are there children here?
I was like, well, this is going to take away from the fact that my belly is
no, notice.
huge. I look like I'm 3 months pregnant right now. I was like, well, I'm here. Let's just be proud and flaunt what we got. And I definitely got looked at because the puppies were just falling out of my top.
You were never indecent, though.
No, I was not. I was not indecent. But I was like, this
technically indecent.
I was like, this is really uncomfortable. But I survived. But I just hate how much my body swells up.
It's a really uncomfortable feeling, and you do get achy. Like, you get the body aches, you get your hips get tight in a way that I just never understood before.
Well, I feel
it's kind of like pregnancy.
It is. It's like pregnancy. I feel really nauseous a lot of the times. It reminds me a lot of like the first trimester when you're pregnant. I get that too. It's like I know I need to eat.
I'm like,
I feel nauseous.
You think with the lack of appetite I'd be losing some weight?
No, it doesn't work that way.
Does not follow normal science.
It doesn't. You just smell chocolate and you gain 5 pounds.
I'm like, well, I might as well just eat what I want since it doesn't matter. We're just giving up.
The joys have just been kind of taken from me.
And then the fatigue too. It's like the first trimester fatigue where you just like want to lay all the time. It's like you almost get dizzy from like standing up. Yeah.
So that's what it's like. It's really fun. So I'm seeing my doctor, and I also needed to get a pap smear because I had one done last year and I had some abnormal cells. So now they want to keep track of things.
You're like a science experiment.
I am. Well, I'm not the first one. So
that's good. At least they know not be the first.
So at least they know a little bit more of what's going on, and they don't have to like practice on me. But so I still have these abnormal cells on my cervix that can become cancerous. And we're just, I'm talking about it with my doctor. And I'm like, man, I am in such a different place in my life because I have been through some really hard stuff that I was just like, okay, I guess just let me know what to do in a few months. Like, oh, we got to do some more tests. Oh, I might have to have surgery.
Yeah, okay. I know. You're like, people who have lived fairly uneventful lives, maybe. I assume those people are out there. It's not been my life, but congrats if it's been yours.
Yeah.
When they hear the C word, they panic a little bit.
Yeah, so
it's like, wow, this is gonna be a lot, you know? It kind of like takes up all their brain space until they get the results.
Well, and I had been going through so much hard stuff last year, which is in our previous episode. We talk about me losing my home and all the stuff I went through, that when I had the pap smear done last year and then the test, and I have been checking everything, I even forgot that I might have a chance to have cancer because I had all these other things happen. And then this year I was like, oh yeah, I need to go get that checked. Let's make sure I'm okay. Now that I'm feeling a little bit more relaxed and settled in, let's keep up with that so, we don't actually get cancer. And I just where my life has been and the different stresses and the worries, and now I have this, and
it's a really good gauge of where you've been. That cancer seems like, all right, let me know.
Let me know what to do.
I mean, that would be unfortunate. Okay.
It would suck, but it's the panic doesn't take over. The emotions don't take over like they used to. It's like, okay, let's be smart about this. Let's worry when we actually have to worry. Let's feel the emotions when we have to actually feel them. Right now, it is a very slow growing cancer. Right now, they're just abnormal cells. But it's just funny. I just can feel the change in the growth in me. And I'm like, well, I guess if I go through menopause now, that's okay too. Because, I'm already like an old woman. I'm quite wise.
Yeah. I mean, it is the silver lining of going through hard things. And, you're not grateful when it's happening. But on the other side of it, you really do know that, you can do it.
You can do hard
You're like,
stuff.
okay, I can do it. I don't want to do it. I never want to do any of those things again. But it creates less anxiety in your life. And I wonder if that's why a lot of the kids have anxiety now, is because they, in some ways, have been kept in this bubble.
Mm-hmm, kind of protected.
Yeah, where, they witness things through social media or TV or at a distance, but they haven't, been through the hardship themselves. And so there's this anxiety because they're not quite sure what they're made of, if they can handle it.
Yeah, life is a little different than when we were younger. We were kind of out in the world a little bit more than our kids are now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've seen that. Definitely an escalation in social anxiety and
kind of learning to stand up for themselves.
How to speak out, for themselves, speak up. Yeah. And I guess I had a little bit of that, but I don't know. Just going through the divorce, the custody battle, the poverty, the homelessness. And now it's just I don't want to do that, but, I know what to do if I have to.
You know that you can survive, and you can survive hard stuff. It shows you how strong you are. And it also teaches you that no one else is going to save you. You have to find the person inside you that has the courage to save yourself. It's up to you. And I think that's something you just don't know until you go through it.
That is just one of the most painful lessons to learn. We've kind of been raised with this fairy tale that we'll be rescued, that there's going to be
a Prince Charming,
a knight in shining armor, in the stories and the movies, there's always this last minute character that comes in at the perfect time with the thing they need
to save you.
To save them from imminent death. And unfortunately, in real life, you realize when you're in those really dire situations that it's just you.
It is.
And it's really depressing to lose that fairy tale.
The fantasy. It is. I've had to let go of so many fantasies and
I feel like I still reality. Am. I'm like, okay, that's what the truth. Okay, all right. Well, it's not what I hoped for, but it's what we're working with.
It is.
Kind of like menopause.
Yeah. But when you go through hard stuff like this, you find people that are also like you and that have faced really hard things, and then they're willing to face hard things with you as well, or they're going to be a support system, like a community.
Yeah.
I mean, that is hard when you start going through hard stuff.
And
you lose community.
you also learn how to recognize the people who haven't been through hard things and aren't going to be there and aren't going to stand up, or I don't even know how to say exactly.
Yeah, people who are going to fight the fight with you. People who actually really care and love you. Who are going to be there when you're just crying, ugly crying, or grieving.
Who are going to be there not because they have anything to get from you.
They're not going to gain anything from you. They're just there because they love you and care about you. And that is what I've learned through really hard stuff.
And that unfortunately, the people who are there aren't always your family.
Yeah.
Your family of origin. You know, we assume that's kind of the narrative we've been given, is that it's families, right? Blood is thicker than water, and those are the people who are going to stand by you. And the unfortunate reality is that it's not those people a lot of the time.
Yeah, the family can actually be the thing that you have to wake up and walk away from. Because family carries a lot of dynamics and patterns, and they can be very toxic, and they can hold you back and want to keep you in those cycles and patterns. And if you're trying to grow and trying to heal from something and trying to transform, especially if you're going through something really hard, sometimes the family doesn't want you to do that, because it means that you're kind of up leveling. You're going to pull yourself out of this pattern, this lifestyle, this way of being.
It almost feels like a judgment on their choices.
Yeah. So a lot of times when you go through something really hard, you're kind of faced with the facts of, is your family going to actually be there for you, or are they going to start attacking you psychologically because now you're changing, now you're different? And that's when you start doing that, that makes them different, or it kind of puts the mirror up to them, and then they have to look at themselves.
It shines a light on the ways that they're not willing to grow or change or have accountability. But this is such a key part of what it means to be a free woman, right? It's this idea of facing the illusions in your life. We have this fairy tale, this fantasy, this dream, hopes, dreams, who doesn't have them, of what we wish the world was, what we wish people were, what we wish our life was. But in order to set yourself free, you have to look those illusions straight in their cold, dark heart and see them for what they really are. Because how do you set yourself free if you don't know what reality is?
Well, you're never going to be able to set yourself free. You're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over. You're never going to find that deep set happiness and joy, because you're going to just keep playing the same game, the same pattern. And then when you finally realize, this is actually making me feel heavy, this is making me feel unhappy, this is making me feel tired, I feel like my brain is tired, I feel like people are not valuing me or respecting me, you're never going to be able to step out of that.
I'm always the one that shows up for them, but it's like pulling teeth to get anyone to show up for me.
You may feel crazy too. That happened to me a lot, where I was like, man, I just feel crazy. I feel, because everything's being twisted around with different people when I'm trying to set myself free or try to heal. That's when a therapist is amazing, which I've said many times. Like, therapy is great.
Well, and sometimes just saying it out loud to a therapist, you're like, wow.
That sounds awful.
Wow, maybe I really am right. Because just saying that out loud right now, that sounds horrible.
Maybe I'm not crazy.
It's like the am I the asshole threads? Have you seen those?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I'll have to show you them. Where people post these questions. They're like, am I the asshole? And then they're like, oh yeah, my boyfriend just beats me every night. But don't worry, he's a nice guy because he gave me a chewed piece of gum once.
Oh my gosh.
Am I the asshole? You know, it's like that kind of a thing where you say it out loud and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah, it does sound different.
This is crazy.
When you're saying out loud, and just notice how your body
Or writing
feels.
it down.
Writing it down. Notice how your body feels. Your body is a part of your mind, your soul, whatever.
Your body is like a tuning fork.
It is.
Even if you're disconnected from your instincts, your body knows when it's not safe. It'll start getting sick. It'll start having tension. It'll start having symptoms because it instinctually knows it's not safe.
Yeah, well, your body starts to get a lot of cortisol in it, and that makes you tired. It makes you feel nauseous.
Mind racing.
Mind racing, your body starts to hurt, and then that's when you start having health problems. And if it goes on for a long time, those health problems can become much more severe and cause disease.
Like cancer.
I do have a feeling where my abnormal cells have come from on my cervix. There is, I was not surprised.
There's a certain suspect.
Well, I've actually have found it very ironic. Right now I've been doing some really deep trauma work with my therapist, my sexual trauma from my childhood and from my marriage. And I'm starting to go in and really understand things, like parts of myself is starting to communicate with me. Like doors are slowly like I'm starting to trust myself within, which is really interesting when you do therapy work. It's like parts of me are starting to realize that the me now is safe, that I'm listening, and that I'm going to protect myself. And so these other parts of me that were really hurt are starting to open up and show me things. And so I'm starting to really understand why I allowed these moments to happen in my life, because my love for myself and the worth for myself was just so small, like so minimal. You know, I just needed someone. I wanted someone to love me, so I would accept anything.
Yeah, that's
was not safe.
One of the illusions, though, right?
It was an illusion. So I have just found it so interesting in these last 2 years. I'm starting to do this trauma work with my therapist, and lo and behold, I have abnormal cells on my cervix, and you know, some of it may need to be removed. And and there's just a part of me, my body is communicating with me, and I can just feel it. I'm not surprised, but it feels timely. It feels like my body is ready to get rid of the disease, the sickness, what I've been through. I am ready to let go. I finally see what I'm worth. I finally love myself enough to say I am never going to let someone harm me again. I will never let myself be harmed. I will not harm me because I love myself enough to say no. That has taken me a long time to do that, but it's practice. You know, these things take time. It may not happen overnight. You may not see the illusion overnight.
It is. It kind of feels like you're in a maze in the fog, and you're trying to piece it all together. You're trying to figure it out, and the only way to figure it out is just to like wander around, to just be diligent, to go towards the mist, the fog, the unseen scary stuff.
And take space for yourself. One of the things I learned was if there's people that you're around, family, friends, partner, children, if you're feeling confused, like let's say your mind is starting to open up, you're starting to see something, you're starting to understand something in yourself, in your body. I found taking space for me and walking away from people for a certain amount of time, it kind of quiets the noise, and then I can just go within myself and see what the truth is. And then, you know, you go back into these groups of people, and they might start doing the same thing again, and you can really notice how your body is feeling. How does your mind feel? It's like communicating with you. You can trust what you're feeling because you've taken so much time to be away from them, and you can take up as much time as you want. Like I took like almost 6 months away from being around my family for a time to understand if I was correct or not with what I was feeling. I decided to spend an afternoon with them, and then I realized I was not wrong. They were doing exactly what I thought they were doing, and it broke my heart. It was awful.
Yeah, I think it's good to not put time constraints on these things. You will know when you know. It's just this kind of a subconscious puzzle. This puzzle that your subconscious has to figure out. And if you keep pushing forward and keep pushing forward and keep pushing forward, the pieces will eventually all be there and you'll know what you need to do. And it's figuring out the illusion. It's letting go of the fantasy, letting go of what you wish was true, what your inner child wishes was true. The love, the fairy tale happily ever after, you know, the movie family that has a squabble and then everyone's hugging and loving each other. It's letting go of these fairy tales and facing what is. And as you do that, it's going to come out in your body. So thank you, Kat, for being this lovely example.
Yes, you're welcome.
It's going to come out in your body. And that's why we always say that trauma work goes hand in hand with body work.
It does.
They are going to happen together.
That's why I love like somatic work, like yoga, really slow yoga, because it gives you a chance to connect with your body and
Deep breathing.
The deep breathing and feel, and then maybe you get to cry. I mean, God, there's been so many times that I've cried when I've been doing a yoga pose. It's like my body actually gets a moment to feel, because when we're trying to do everyday life stuff, and especially if you have kids or a full-time job, just being alive is really busy. So
just not dying every day. Good job, guys.
Yeah, so, you know, giving my body some space to like feel and release. And
well, yeah, if you stay, and this is a trauma thing, staying busy, being a workaholic, constantly going, constantly having something on the calendar every minute of the day is a trauma thing, because as soon as you slow down, that's when you start to feel. And so that's why Kat said you need to give yourself space. You need to give yourself space so you can feel your feelings. Because regardless of if those feelings are the ones we wish we had or not, they are like a tuning fork. They're letting us know the weather system, right? They're letting us know how we're doing and if we're okay or not.
well, and you know, the body will eventually catch up to all of this. The body will eventually make you stop.
Yeah.
You see this in a lot of people that get older. The body can only carry so much. It can only do so much for you throughout your life. And eventually, if you don't take care of these things throughout your life, you're going to get to a block when you're older. And I'm not a doctor.
Your face will look like you've been sucking a lemon for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of people...
It's like that anger and bitterness starts to show.
A lot of people get Botox now, so maybe not, but it's there.
Yeah, and there's nothing, I don't have anything against getting work done, but I do find it interesting as we're talking about menopause and the illusion and facing this reality that our bodies are aging and every day is a new surprise, and the grief that comes with that, because you're losing the young version of you, but also having the courage to face that reality of like, this is where my body's at right now and how can I care for it? I feel like one of the ways that we don't face that reality is by getting all the work done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for me right now, I'm just too tired to care. And too poor.
It's like, who has the money for that right now?
Yeah, but God, I have thought about it. I was like, I do not even have the energy to try to look like I'm still 20. Like, trying to get all these things
I'd rather
done.
sleep an extra 30 minutes.
Yeah, or, you know, running every day for miles and miles. Well, my body won't even let me. If I try to do that, my body actually starts to feel really sick. So you have to just learn to listen to what the body needs when you go through this. But
yeah,
it is.
Aging is definitely a thing where the body takes over. It takes the wheel.
It does.
And you just hope for a gentle ride.
You're like, okay, it's your turn. I'll trust you. I'm going to try to trust you.
Yeah, I'll try to give you what you need. Try to try to help out, but I recognize that maybe I'm not in charge of this game right now.
Yeah, I'm going to try to love you as much as I can through this. But man, sometimes I'm angry. I'm angry because I don't feel well. I don't feel like myself. I can't accomplish in a day like what I used to accomplish. Like sometimes I'm just like looking at something and I'm like, oh, here comes the spinning. Here comes the dizziness. I got to go lay down for a while.
Here comes the hot flash or the cold.
Yeah, I get really, really cold feet. Like not even a heat pad.
I run hot and she runs cold.
I run cold.
So we think it's kind of funny.
She'll be sweating and
you
I'll
want to
be
put your
so
feet
cold.
against me right now?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So it is a journey. It never ends. God, never ends.
Yeah, it's part of being a free woman, though, right? Is having the courage to face these hard things rather than running from them. You know, regardless of if you want to get work done or not, it's facing the reality of you are this old and the body will not go forever. And you have to come to terms with that. You can't live in this fantasy.
Yeah, you are going to age. You are going to die one day. What do you want to do with your
Things
time?
are going to start getting, you know, creaky and like move different. And you're going to lose your fertility.
Yeah, you're going to just fart whenever. And sometimes you can't help yourself, you know? It's like, it's going to happen.
I know. I'm like, oh, young me had so many noble ideas about how we were going to age.
I know.
But now that I'm actually here, I'm trembling a little inside.
Yeah. Oh, another thing too is you get BO, you get really smelly.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's like garbage, death, armpit, outhouse in your armpits.
My God, I know. I mean, I usually don't wear deodorant, but I do now because everybody in the car deserves to not smell that.
I am so sorry.
I'm sorry, guys. Even my kids sometimes like, Mom. I'm like, I know. I'm sorry.
I just know when it's like grossing me out that it's got to be really bad for other people because usually your own smells are okay for you.
They are. Yeah.
And if I'm like, wow, that's bad.
Yeah, let's just keep the armpits down.
Yeah, just don't anymore.
Yeah.
No, we wave like this. Yeah, it's a journey.
It is.
But it's just really interesting all of the different ways that life will teach you, whether it's through your body, your family, having children, romantic relationships, job, work environments,
friendships,
your community at large. And in each of these places, we have a tendency, a desire, a default to create a fantasy, to put our own expectations and desire on other people, other things and places. And so I feel like that is just one of the foundational things of freeing yourself.
Yeah,
facing the illusion.
Yeah, I think when you get to the point where you are in a place, maybe let's say you meet somebody, maybe it's a romantic somebody, and if you can right away notice in your head the story you're creating, the illusion, versus what's really happening, that is like a pretty big step. That already is like creating a free mind.
Yeah, I feel like that is one of the first things we do when we meet someone and we click with them is we start to create this fantasy fairy tale about it, about who they are, about what the future is going to be. And like, I mean, you've had guys that you weren't even interested in, didn't even go on a date with, Kat, and they had already married you in their head.
They
because
did.
You're so beautiful and nice.
Oh. Yeah, it's a little creepy.
And it's kind of like, that's an extreme example of where it starts to kind of creep over into mental illness. But we all do it to varying degrees.
Yeah, well, when I've gone into the dating world, it has been really interesting how quickly, and I know women do this too, but you know, I go out and I date men. And it's just been interesting and very insightful of how quickly they fantasize And I'm like, you don't even know who I am. You don't even know me. And within a week, you already have an idea of who I am and what this relationship's going to be. And I'm like, no. So that usually for me is a pretty big red flag. And
or what about people who get a puppy dog because it's so cute and they want the family picture with the dog and they've always had this like image of how fun it'll be for the dog and the kids and playing catch, and then the dog's not a puppy anymore and suddenly it needs to be trained, it needs time, it needs interaction. Maybe it actually doesn't like kids at all.
Yeah.
And it's the fantasy, right, gets taken away.
I've seen that too with a lot of girls, young women that want to have babies when they just get married, or they do have the baby already.
We live in Mormon country, so people tend to get married by the time they're like 22.
I mean, yeah, even before. Like
even
right
before that. I mean, I got married
school.
at 19.
Yeah.
So, and that's not unusual. And then they have babies right away because there's this like fairy tale they've
Fantasy.
been given. Yeah.
Of what motherhood means and like how.
I mean, I had it.
I mean, me too.
Yeah.
So we both went through it. But now I see it like when I just went and saw my friend that had a baby. She's older. I'm really excited she had her baby, but the fantasies already there. What the child is going to be is already there. This child's going to be playing sports. The parents already kind of create this story of who this kid
Who
is
the
going to be.
kid's going to be in the family and what the kid is going to be for them. The role. Yeah.
And so the illusion starts. The patterns start. The cycles start.
Yeah, we have to be very self-aware to not do that to our children, to let our children show us who they are rather than tell our children who they are.
Yeah.
And like, I know I experienced that in my family. I had a role I was supposed to play and everybody was telling me who I was. And that's one of the reasons I had to step away from my family, is in order for me to be me, I had to step away from those projections. And I found with my own kids, I've had to be really self-aware of that. Like, I'm a musical person. I love music, but maybe that's not going to be their thing.
Yeah, same. I love hiking. I love going in the outdoors. There's things that I love, and my kids are like, no, I don't want to do that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, and there was times I wanted to like push them and force them, but then I'm like, well, you know what? This is what makes me feel happy. This is my healing. Maybe they don't want it. So
Or maybe they'll want it at a different point.
Maybe a different point,
But
but
if we force it and shove it down their throats, then they're never going to want it.
they're never going to want it. And now I have found and learned, just like I ask myself, like, well, what is it I want? That's what I do with my kids. I'm like, well, what is it you want to do? What do you want to do this weekend then? Like, we don't have to go do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'll find time to do something I enjoy
What
for me.
excites you?
What excites you?
And sometimes nothing, and so you say you just have to pick something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely seen that in like sports families where the dads are really into football or baseball, and so their sons have to also be really into that.
Or they're into cars or motorbikes or fishing. Hunting.
And so you do this too because this is what it means to be a man in their mind.
Yeah.
Rather than kind of letting the child reveal who they are themselves.
Yeah, so if you can do that as a parent, that is just a huge head start for the children. And maybe we'll have a little bit less anxiety for these children that are coming into adulthood, because it's really stressful and scary becoming an adult and not knowing who you are.
Well, it's really common sense that we don't own other people, that we don't get to control and claim ownership of another person's sovereignty, personal freedom. But when it comes to our kids, sometimes that gets pretty muddy. And we're like, you're my kid. You're mine. And it's like
I own you.
No, actually, they're not. I mean, they are, but they're their own person and they're going to make their own choices. They're going to go on their own journey. They might, join a religion that you don't like, or join with political beliefs that you don't like, or whatever it is. But that's their journey. And we don't get to tell them who they're going to be.
Yeah, can you love another person unconditionally for who they are rather than trying to force them to be what fits into your illusion, your mind, what you think is a perfect world?
Yeah.
And that's really hard to do.
Yeah, can you love them for who they are rather than for who you want them to be?
That's a really great way of
They're
saying
not existing to meet your needs. And I mean, with kids, that's obvious, but it goes for romantic relationships too. Like, you might want your partner to work out more, but that's their own journey and that's what they're going to figure out and do or not do. We don't get to sort of put our own fantasies
expectations
on each other. Expectations. No, you are only in charge of this right here.
Yeah.
The person whose bum is in your chair right now, that's your terrain.
That's your terrain. Yeah, so that's where freedom comes from, I think, is like starting to do these things, starting to practice this. Where in your life can you start letting go?
Set yourself free of the illusions. They might be warm and fuzzy like a blankie, but they are holding you back. It is a trap.
It's time to set yourself free.
Be the free woman that we know you are.